Hey, Alan here, and I'm here at the Igloo. By the way, it's Alan from rv'er.net, and let me take a minute out and show you around the Igloo. We're going to pan around and let you see the place, and then I'll explain more in a moment.
Are we going live?
Yep, we're live. Except for the fact that we're just recording it. The Igloo Bar. Doesn't look like much. It's because it ain't much. But it's a great place. Bar, coffee shop, air-conditioned office on a hot summer day, and generally really cool place. So, pretty cool place, huh? The Igloo is owned by four fellas who are local to Edgemont. Three? It changed? Really?
Yeah, three of us now.
That was quick. I had a feeling that was coming. Anyway, you're getting the scoop right on the spot. It's owned by three fellas, Cad, Diego, and Stubbs, I assume. Don't have Cad's attention, but anyway, they're all locals. They're all good guys, real good guys, and it's really an interesting place. This used to be a really rough bar, and Cad found it, took it over. He's a bit of an entrepreneur. He's got a brick oven for pizza outside. He's got a pig roast thing outside. Unbelievable, you know, and they do good food. He's got a restaurant 2 doors down called the Hat Trick. And Edgemont is a town of 500 people. I've been here nearly a month. Feel like a local. I like getting to places where I can really get to know a place, and I guess it gets to know me a little bit. And you know, you really settle in for a little bit. And from here, by the way, I'm headed to Sundance, Wyoming for a few days, and over to Rapid City, South Dakota, for about a month. So we're right here on the South Dakota-Wyoming border, so it's no big deal to jump back into Wyoming from Edgemont, South Dakota. So the Igloo is kind of a centerpiece in town. There's not too much commerce here. There's no stores to speak of. There's a post office. There's a nice park. There's a train depot that every train in existence seems to go through this area, and you hear it through the whole town. And there are 2 RV parks. The RV parks, and by the way, the whole post, this entire post, can be seen at rv'er.net/Black Hills, because that's the region we're on. The name of the town, Edgemont, I think is probably named because we're on the edge of the mountains. We're at about 3,500 feet. We're about 25 miles from Hot Springs. You go up and over the Black Hills to get in there, into the Black Hills. We're about 40 miles from Custer, which is kind of in the heart of the Black Hills. It's got some of the iconic visuals when you get up there, the mountain ranges. And then there's more Black Hills further north and east. Of course, Spearfish, Sturgis, Deadwood are areas. Sundance, Wyoming is on the western fringe, and that's where I'll be starting next Monday. But Edgemont has been a good place, and as RV parks go, this kind of really meets my goal for a really good place to be in the summer, because while people are fighting for sites up in Custer and frankly up in Hot Springs and paying $900 a month or more, or paying $50, $60 a night and having to reserve within hours of when the reservation window opens, probably around December or January for the following summer, I show up here and these 2 campgrounds have been 80 to 90% empty most of the time. There was one weekend where they had a big wedding in town, and the one I'm in filled up. But even then, there still would have been space for a place to actually stay. And the rates are commensurate with the fact that we're on the fringe of the touristy area. So I don't mind staying at what I call a second-tier campground. Doesn't really offer much of anything, as long as I'm close to really cool places to go. And the town itself offers a lot in the sense, for me, I do a lot of bicycling, I do a lot of kayaking. The biking, is great through the town. The town is relatively flat. It's got a couple little hills, so I've used it for a little bit of interval training. And there are some roads that come off the town. There's an old Route 18. Route 18 is the main road that runs from eastern Wyoming into Hot Springs, but there's an old 18 that you can take, and it's completely untrafficked, and you can ride it for miles and miles and miles. It's got a gradual grade going up into the Black Hills, so I like that. I like that. For me, that's great, and I'm playing around with my new trike. If you didn't see my post about the trike, go to rvcrossamerica.net/trike. And this place, by the way, is great for me because my concierge RV buying and selling business has been going gangbusters, working with more folks in a month than I ever thought I would. And frankly, I need some downtime during the day to be able to make the calls that I got to make in order to service people, to find campers and negotiate on them, and to post ads to get rid of campers for people, and so on and so forth. Anyway, and if you're interested in that, you can go to rvcrossamerica.net/buy-sell, BUYSELL. All right, rvcrossamerica.net/BUYSELL. All right, so it's a hot summer afternoon. That's why I'm here. Near here, some additional things that you want to know about. There's a really interesting place that has bunkers. It's an old military depot and a military base that was decommissioned 50, 60 years ago. And the bunkers, which are about 50 by 100 feet and mostly underground with 300-pound doors, they're being repurposed into places that people can move into. And some guy got the brilliant idea to sell them, and there's these end of society fatalists moving in there, and it's only about 15-20 minute drive south of town, so they come up in here so often. And I've talked to Kat and I've talked to Diego about the kind of people who are buying into those places. Anyway, also in the area is Cascade Falls. Cascade Falls is right near Angostura Reservoir, which is a great place to go kayaking. There's also some dry camping available there. Angostura has 2 dry camping areas, and again, all the details on everything I'm talking about can be found in writing with more information and links and everything like that at rvcrossamerica.net/Black Hills. All right, one phrase, Black Hills. Cascade Falls is a National Recreation Area marked site. It's basically a watering hole and a small waterfall. Pretty cool place. Beware, there's a sign that says watch out for poison ivy and rattlesnakes. First time I ever saw a sign like that. Angostura is like many of these small towns here, or small town areas. Casper has it, Gillette, Wyoming has it. Everybody's got a reservoir near them, and the reservoirs are great for people to head over to. It's a big reservoir. You can go boating in it, motorboating. I use it for kayaking, and it's great. And again, there's dry camping available right alongside the reservoir. A couple different areas I found. Hot Springs itself is a neat area. It's kind of a touristy town, but it's got a lot of good restaurants, it's got a good breakfast place, got a few hotels, very kind of picturesque in the downtown area. And Hot Springs also is home to the Mammoth site, and I detail that on my post. You're going to want to learn about that Mammoth site. I am not a museum junkie, but this is a really cool place, and it's actually a live dig site. It's actually an active dig site, so it's pretty cool. Custer, like I mentioned, is about 40 miles almost due north of here. Custer is neat because it's about 1,500, 1,800 feet higher than here. So on the days where it's been really hot here, and we've had a few really hot ones, Custer is a great place to go. There's a great breakfast place called Our Place, if you can catch them when they're open. There's some other good restaurants in town and a couple of good coffee shops. All around nice atmosphere, and it is about 3 miles away from Custer State Park, which is probably one of the nicer state parks in the entire nation. And Custer State Park is home to Stockade Lake along with a few other lakes. Again, a good kayaking place. Custer State Park also borders Wind Cave National Park, small national park. It's mostly a drive-through, but Wind Cave does have 3 different cave tours that you can take. And I was disappointed yesterday. It got up to about 100 degrees here yesterday. So I figured perfect day to go in a cave. It's going to be cool enough that they recommend you need a jacket. But I got there before 9 a.m. and the entire parking lot was filled, and the building where people buy tickets had people lined up. It looked like a Springsteen concert. There were hundreds of people there waiting for tickets, and I figured, well, even if I could find a place to put the vehicle, I was traveling just in truck. Of course, I wasn't pulling the trailer, but even that truck needs a little bit of space. It's a long bed crew cab Ford 3/4 ton diesel. So even if I could find a place to put the truck, I didn't think there was any shot at getting tickets until mid-afternoon. I wasn't planning on hanging around there for 4 or 5 hours, just waiting to do a 1-hour tour of a cave on a 100-degree day, and there's nothing else around there. Anyway, so, you know, I wanted to give you a sense. This is more or less the southern Black Hills. So again, rvcrossamerica.net/Black Hills. Join me over there. I'm going to add a little more footage to this. I'm going to show you, I'll show you a few things. I'm not sure what yet, but we'll add in a little bit more video. There's some photos over there. And hey, as always, leave me some feedback. Give me your thoughts. And let me know if I'm sharing stuff that's worth hearing about. rvcrossamerica.net/Black Hills. This is Alan signing out. You have a great, wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever it is you see this. Take care. You're looking at the public access section of Sheps Canyon alongside the Angostura Reservoir. There is another section just about 4 miles north of where I'm driving that is a fee-based area and has a couple of actual campgrounds associated with it right there. This is dispersed free camping, 14-day limit alongside the reservoir. And where you see these campers set up, there is a decline right down to the water, and very often people are able to have their kayaks down there and boats and everything else that they want, and basically have a waterfront site for a week or two. This is kind of a little loop area. The camper down at the lower right is kind of wedged in under a tree. It only works on a travel trailer, and a relatively small travel trailer at that. There's actually another one closer to the water than the one you're looking at on the right side. The camper to the left and the other campers that we just passed to the left, they're on a little bit of a slope, so this is not exactly my idea of a perfect RV camping area in this immediate site. However, the campsites that were just up and to the left, and there are a few other campsites I'll show you in a moment. This is where I parked for a while because I was right adjacent to the water, pulled out my kayak, inflated it, and went out for a paddle. This is now, again, just south of where we just were. This is another loop area. It can accommodate probably up to about 3 campers, and depending on whether you've got, you know, the size of your camper and how good you are at maneuvering it, there are 2 or 3 pretty good spots here. And again, a drop off down to the water. And then from here, you can even go another couple of miles south, and there's a organized campground and a horse riding farm. So this is Sheps Canyon. We're about to shift gears, and we're going to be looking at the 4 Mile Road. This is the 4 Mile Road in Custer State Park, just north of the national park. And in Custer State Park, this area, you can see why I'm stopped behind this red vehicle. There are a whole bunch of bison which are roaming around, and they actually start crossing the road. So all of us decided that it was probably the better part of valor to not interfere with the bison doing that, and to not do anything that would cause the bison to charge. And you can see from my webcam that we got quite close to them, very close to them. This is again that 4 Mile Road, and it's a gravel road. There were a couple of vehicles in front of me. You can enjoy this, and well, it's different. We're about I would say from here, half an hour north of Hot Springs to get to this immediate vicinity. This fella kind of wandered onto the road, and I was just pretty happy that he found a way between me and the guy in front of me and had no interest in stopping and, learning more about me. So I thought this would be an interesting way for the video to end. Enjoy it. Check out more at rvacrossamerica.net /Black Hills.